Hello and welcome to NPC. That stands for Next Portable Console. It's the show about the games we take with us. If you can believe it, I put down Silksong for enough time to record this episode with my good friends, John Voorhees.
Hello.
And Federico Vitici.
Hello, I'm back without plumbing issues this week. So that is good. That is good.
How did Mario and Luigi do, Federico?
Our kitchen was a mess. This time last week, exactly a week ago, right now, we had this plumber. It all started because we needed to install a new faucet and a new kitchen faucet. You wouldn't believe it how challenging it was because of space constraints and missing equipment, missing pieces. The guy had to go to a store and then come back. It was a whole thing, and I had to miss the show. But I'm very grateful to you both for holding the fort and doing an excellent episode.
Thank you.
Brendon, thank you for putting down Silksong to record with us. Are you still on your first playthrough, or have you started the second one already?
I'm on my first playthrough.
Okay.
I'm at the It's hard to really describe how far into the game I'm at. I have rolled credits twice, but I'm not done with it.
Okay.
Is how I'll put it. But I've played for well over, I think it's 45 hours or something at this point.
Nice. I think it's I think I speak for both of us, John, when I say that we haven't really played Silksong yet. I played about an hour. I played an hour of Silksong because for the past 2 weeks I have been in essentially complete isolation of working and finishing my iOS and iPadOS 26 review, which I publish every year. John has been doing the same for macOS. And these articles will be out. By the time you're listening and watching this, if everything goes to plan, they'll be out.
We're close.
We're close. And I already know what my reward is going to be, which is going to be lots of video games.
I love that.
Same. Yeah, well, you're ahead of me, Federico. I've played 0 hours because I've gotten to the point where I've been working on this review and I'm so tired. I feel like I'm not going to enjoy the game if I'm playing it in that state. So I've been doing things like playing Hold Down, just because it's nice. Both a great game and it's pretty mindless.
It's so mindless. And you just get into a flow state with it too.
Exactly.
My biggest tip for Hold Down players who want to get a high score is never look at the score. If your gaze lingers into the top left, exactly, and you realize I'm getting close to 1,000. You're done. You're done for.
You absolutely are. I use it to turn my brain off. It's been fantastic for that.
I should also mention that I played some Void Breaker in addition to.
Dude.
It's so good.
I haven't played that.
It's so good, and it's not my typical kind of game. But then I watched your video, Brendon.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? This looks
it's
nice.
Sick. I played it a lot more since then, and I'm really, really liking it. I think actually, the day after this episode comes out, I'll be on the MinMax show talking about Void Breaker and Silksong.
Cool.
But Void Breaker, they specifically asked me if I wanted to talk about it. I was like, hell yes, I would love to talk about that game. Because the videos that I do for the Patreon are basically just first impressions videos. It's I'm going to boot the game up and play it for an hour. But that does not contain how I feel about it 5 hours in, which is where I'm at with Void Breaker.
Right.
I will say, I'm in the same space you guys are in, because all of the playing of Silksong being condensed that much is all in service of doing a review. So as soon as we're done with this episode, I am gonna go post up at a cafe and just start writing until that's
nice.
done.
Can't wait to see it.
Well, hold on a second. I kind of want to know more about your writing setup.
Oh, yeah.
What's it look like?
These days, it's still my iPad Pro.
Okay.
M4.
Okay.
Magic keyboard. And I use Notion for everything these days. All of my writing and all my notes.
You are going to like, my friend, my story for members about the entire process of my iOS review. To give you some context. It is approaching 40,000 words. 7 chapters, big boy, bigger than last year. It was entirely researched, written, edited in Notion.
Sick. Yeah,
and
Notion's good.
It's good, and I have lots of little actions and scripts and automations that I put together. It's gonna be nice.
Yeah, I use it as a very basic writing tool generally, but it is helpful for organizing. I have a big document that's every script I've written for Wavelengths, basically since I started doing it full time. it's kind of like a task manager that's like, here's ideas, they get moved into in progress and they get moved into completed when the video is posted. It's like it's a very nice flow that I enjoy looking at. But also, I mean, that's what we're using for show notes now for this show.
Yeah,
and Federico, I think we should mention that when you say you're writing that for members, you're talking about Club Mac Stories members,
yes,
not NPC XL patrons.
Yes, you're right. Yes, you're
Just
right.
to be clear,
I don't think NPC XL Patreon members would be interested in my technical breakdown. Maybe not.
I bet there's more of a crossover than you think.
Thank you. If there is, I appreciate you. Interesting. I didn't know that you were using, Notion. And also, finally, last question. You played on Switch, right?
Yeah, I played the whole thing on Switch, mainly because I played all of Hollow Knight on Switch for the first time. And I wanted to do two things. This is actually maybe a good way of getting into some stuff. But I wanted to test out the Pro Controller in the most intense way I possibly could.
Yeah.
Right.
And make sure that the Switch 2 Pro Controller has the juice, which it does.
Okay.
I would say I played of the 45-ish hours I probably played about like 40 of them with the Pro Controller. And the other 5 were handheld mode with the Kill Switch, which I talked about last week, which holds up. Feels really good in handheld mode, and I had no problem playing a long period of time with that.
Very cool. Very cool.
Nice.
Hey, before we get to that, I do want to mention a little bit of Mac Stories podcast news.
Bit of a follow out, as they call it.
We launched some new shows.
Is that what follow out means? I hear you guys talk about that on other shows all the time.
All right. To be honest, I am not completely sure, but I think it is what it means. I think because like you're following up, but also
follow up is
up
from
to
the
this
same show.
show.
Follow out is to other shows.
Something else. I think.
Yes.
I think.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm going to follow me, dear listener, as we follow out in two different directions, two different paths. It's a fork in the road. One path leads to First Last Everything, which is a brand new show, interview show by Jonathan Reed, who writes at Mac Stories and does a lot of other things at Mac Stories. And he's talking to a lot of creative people. He's talking to people in all walks of life. I don't want to spoil all of his guests, but it's a seasonal show. His first interview is with Tom Hitchens, who's a YouTuber and designer who Federico and I got to know at WWDC a little bit this year. Really good conversation. And the other show is an extension of an existing Mac Story show called Comfort Zone. And the new version of it, the extended version, is called Cozy Zone. It's more of what Comfort Zone listeners want. It's a little cozier too. It's a pretty cool show. So that one is a paid show. It's through Memberful, but you can check these things both out at macstories.net/podcasts if you're curious.
I love the art for Cozy Zone by our friend Scout.
Yes.
So
Scout
good.
did a great job.
Adorable. It's so good. Yeah, I'm a big fan. And I think I'm on First Last Everything at some point.
You are, but you're spoiling it now.
Oh my! Was I not supposed to say that?
No,
now people know there's going to be Brendon. At some point.
Okay. If
Talk
the
about
secret's out.
spoiling it. Now it's truly spoiled. No one's going to want to listen.
Yeah, I'll say this. It was recorded like the week after I quit my job, which is like
nice.
I have no memory of what I said, but I'm really excited to hear it.
Potentially a raw time, potentially, right?
Brendon breaks down crying during the interview at some point.
I know it was like when I left my job. So anyway.
Well, speaking of losing your job, can we talk about the Genki lawsuit?
Oh yeah,
we can. I have a couple of things about Genki. Before we get to the lawsuit, was that last week I talked to Brendon about the kill switch, and one of the things I said was I had just ordered my kill switch. Turns out I left it in my cart and I didn't order it. And
God!
When I went back to the tab, I was like, oh, I hadn't ordered it.
That's funny.
Then I went and looked at the Genki case a little more closely, and I was like, you know what? I think I want the Genki one. So I ordered the Genki one instead because
they're still a company.
Yeah, they're still a company. They've now settled with Nintendo, and that one fits in the dock. Mine doesn't come until I think early next week. I should have it for the next episode. But Federico is going to maybe talk to us a little bit about it in the meantime because he took delivery of some Genki accessories.
Yes.
But Nintendo and Genki have settled their lawsuit. If you remember, when Brendon and I went off to CES, we went in search of the much hyped Genki mock-up of the Switch 2.
At their booth.
Which was kind
basically impossible to find.
it was kind of like a booth that it's a little bit, I don't know. I mean, it's like it didn't really exist. I think by the time we got there, Brendon, they may have like fled town because Nintendo was on their heels. Because
that's the vibe I got.
Yeah, they were hyping this 3D printed version of a case for the Switch 2. Nintendo, Brand kind of did the same thing, but maybe it was a little bit cooler with the not as hypey about it. But
I don't think they were showing it off to people on a show floor.
I think that's right. They just had a graphic on their website or something. But
I mean, as with Deep Brand's thing, like, yeah, they had an early mock-up, but that ended up being the thing probably, if I were to guess,
that didn't
behind
work.
The scenes that made the kill switch not work when it came out.
Yeah,
was going off of a mock-up and not the real deal.
Yeah, this is quite an involved story, but ultimately Nintendo sued them, and they settled this past week. The exact terms have not been disclosed, but Genki's paying Nintendo some money. They've also agreed not to do a bunch of things in their advertising, which I found really interesting because
this is so weird.
Yeah, this is something you see all of these companies do. They come out with accessories that match color schemes to Nintendo products. Typically red and blue skins for things, or the pink and green, like Splatoon. There's all these different Nintendo color schemes that you see recreated by various companies. Genki has agreed not to do any of that. They've also said they're not going to use certain words, even to the level of things like the number 2 to connotate the Switch 2. It's pretty tight regulation on what they can do, and it'll be interesting.
Yeah, the one that gets me is they had a thing that was called the Genki glitch, and they're not allowed to use glitch anymore. Which I guess it sounds like Switch, like it rhymes with Switch.
Oh, because it rhymes? Okay.
Yeah, I think that's why. I mean, it's really weird to me. It's really strange. It goes well beyond what I think normally a company would be prohibited from doing legally.
Genki indirect.
Yeah,
I
for
see.
like their announcements and stuff.
Yeah.
I see.
It's pretty wild, but it's been resolved. Genki's still in business. They lost some money in the deal. They can't advertise their products in the same way they used to. What'll be interesting to me to see is what kind of precedent does this set for other companies doing similar things? Are people going to be scared to use red and blue color schemes going forward? Or are they, to what degree are they going to kind of play off of the various trademarks and other IP of Nintendo?
Yeah.
So
the thing too is like it's every Joy-Con color combination, right? It's not just the red and blue, but it's like the green and pink from Splatoon. It's the purple and orange. Like it's all of them, which is pretty wild. Which feels like you could accidentally stumble backwards into having a color combination that Nintendo doesn't like. I have a hunch that this is just Genki related, like this is just for this lawsuit. But also, I mean, you might be right, John. Like this is like a precedent setting situation, and Nintendo very famously is about as litigious as it gets. It's like them and the Walt Disney Company are like known far and wide for being like, you spray painted Mickey Mouse or Mario on the side of your business, and therefore we're going to claim ownership of it and take 5% off the top forever. It's like that's the kind of company that Nintendo is, at least on the legal team end. The other thing, which is not related to this, but they also just got a patent for the ability for games where you capture and use sub-partners in combat, which is Pokemon.
I didn't see this.
Yeah, I think it was yesterday. It was like yesterday or 2 days ago, at the time of this recording at least, which definitely, I think, could be really problematic for so many other games that have any kind of capture, or like even like any game with a party system hypothetically could bump up against that patent. And like Nintendo's going to have to be litigious about it if they want to hold on to it, is the thing.
Yep.
Which is, I'm nervous about like Dragon Quest,
That's it. That's exactly what I was going to mention. Yep.
Yeah. Which is, to be clear, like the inspiration point for Pokemon was Dragon Quest V.
Yeah.
And now retroactively, Dragon Quest might get knocked for ripping off Pokemon. Oof.
Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah. But that's the kind of company Nintendo is.
Yeah. If you want to support Genki in paying the damages of the lawsuit,
What are you? The legal collections department for Genki?
I
Are
may
you on their
recommend.
payroll?
No, I'm not. I'm just a fan of the accessories that I received in a sort of a bit of a fugue state a few months ago. I ordered and then forgot about the fact that I got a bunch of Genki Switch 2 accessories.
Yeah.
And which I received last week. I got the attack vector and the energy pack.
Okay.
Now, the energy pack is essentially a MagSafe battery. Okay.
Yeah, I got that too.
Black and orange. Actually, quite a bit of a color match for the iPhone 17 Pro in orange. Looks like a regular MagSafe battery. It totally works with the phone. If you want to use it with the phone, here, I'll show it off. This is my old 16 Pro Max using the new Tech Woven case, which I received this morning.
Weird.
Weird. I know. It's actually pretty nice. And this Genki battery attaches just fine.
That really came fast. I mean, you got that case in 2 days.
In 2 days. 2 days. It's actually quite nice. The 16 Pro Max fits inside the giant camera hole for the 17 Pro. And the texture is cool. So the battery works. Got a little display that shows you a bunch of information. But what I want to mention is this bunch of stuff for the Switch 2. So Genki with the attack vector is essentially like a modular grip case system that consists of something like a protective shell that you put on the back of your Switch, leaves the kickstand free to be opened and used. If I can grab it. It's actually a little bit difficult. There we go. You can still use the kickstand. And there's basically this shell on top of the Switch, this part here. That you can use for, it's kind of like the kill switch. There's a plastic cover that you can close on top of this. It's like a hard plastic shell cover that you can put on top if you want to carry the Switch around. But the other part of this modular system are the grips for the Joy-Cons. Here they are. And they come in multiple shapes and sizes. I think they come in 3 sizes. These are the smaller ones. These are the
How do
small
they connect,
grips.
Federico?
Oh, just like this. So this is a Joy-Con. You just slide it in, and then if you want to take it out, I assume you're going to do... What are you going to do if you want to take it out? You just slide it off. Let's see. Oh, this is fun content for the video.
Yeah, it is. It's worth noting, too.
I'm sorry. I forgot. Okay, here.
What? Okay.
Here. I just removed the grip.
Yeah.
Okay? So this is... You can choose the size of this one.
Is it magnetic?
No, you have these 2 little clips here.
Oh, I see the clips. I see them.
And once you've removed this, you need to take out the Joy-Con from the plastic shell case, which is surprisingly challenging. How do you remove a Joy-Con from this? I have no idea now that
Now that you've done it, it's worth noting, I think, too, that there's a MagSafe magnet on the back, that shell that you were talking about before. Then you can put the battery on there.
So there we go.
That's a brilliant idea.
You just need to take it out.
Unclip
then you just unclip it. Then you take the Joy-Con, and it's actually easy when you put it in. You just do this.
Yeah.
And then
you've got grip, 3 different size grips, right?
Then you take the grip that you want to use, and you clip it, and you slide it up on the back of the Joy-Con like this. And this is actually very comfortable. So here...
The smallest one.
The smallest ones are the ones that I prefer. You attach everything, and there you go. Here, as you mentioned, you can clip the battery. So take the battery. Adds some bulk, of course, to the Switch.
Yeah.
But from here, if you want to run from here, if you want to run a short USB-C cable to the top or the bottom of the Switch 2, you can do it. And if you don't want to use it, just detach it, use it with your phone, carry it with you. So I like the idea that you have a MagSafe compatible attachment system in the back of the unit. Yep. And I gotta say, I've been playing the hour of Silksong that I've been playing with this. It adds just the right amount of like padding for my hands compared to the, as we know, very flat Joy-Cons for the Switch 2. So this is actually quite nice, and like I said, they come in 3 sizes. The big one is like actually very curvy and chunky. So
that's
I recommend
that's closer to the kill switch, I think, the big one.
Yeah. So once again, as you can see, very easy to try multiple sizes. Then you just take the grip and you attach it and slide it up again, and there you go. You got the grip. So
nice.
Doesn't add a lot of bulk when it's just the plastic back and the grips. But then, of course, if you also mount the battery on the back,
right.
you're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel it.
Does it come with a little USB-C cable?
It does not. I don't
Really?
It doesn't. Oh, they sell it separately. I think I saw it on the website. You can get one of those right angle USB-C cables.
No, because there's also the chance that I missed it in the box.
Oh, maybe you did. Because I remember seeing it on the website. I just don't remember
what's in the box. Yeah, there's a USB-C cable that I didn't notice. So that's my bad.
You probably threw it in the garbage, didn't you, TG?
I did. Comes in the box. But great. Okay. Well,
Federico, why don't Brendon and I take over while you go dig through your garbage?
No, I mean it's
a glowing review of the attack vector from Genki.
It was gone days ago. Now it's lost to the dump.
It's in the Rome dump
somewhere. Enjoy. Yeah.
All right. That's sad.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Well, still, it sounds interesting, at least. The attack vector. It seems good, and it fits in the dock, right?
It does.
Yeah, I mean that's great. That by itself is great.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's worth mentioning. A bunch of people have messaged me after last week's episode and also my recent video about the kill switch. There is a way on the dbrand website to buy a configuration that doesn't come with anything except for the Joy-Con grips, and that's like $30.
Oh, that's good to know.
Which is like kind of a no-brainer, I think, comparatively. Because that's about as much as all of these other ones cost for the most part. I do think the one that you just picked up, right, is pretty.
Yeah, all these companies are trying to sell you some kind of bundle is the thing, you know.
Yeah,
that very quickly gets over $100.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Switch and Silksong, I kind of want to keep talking about Silksong because of something that I tried. And this is like a new field that I think is going to be a recurring theme in the next few months here on NPC, which is Windows emulation on Android.
Yeah.
I have decided that, and I'm going to talk about this some more on XL. I have decided that I kind of want to make that my brand now, because in a way, my brand used to be like doing crazy experiments with eGPUs and stuff. But now that I have a gaming cables, you know the things I used to do. But now that I have a gaming PC, like that's not my brand anymore. Obviously, like why would I spend money on an eGPU when I have a 5090 under my desk?
Right.
And so I have been on the lookout for like the next kind of me thing to get into. I like having these obsessions. You know, I like doing this.
Something on the frontier, on the very edge of what's possible.
Yes. And I have decided that what I want to try is getting to know more about this field of emulating Windows on Android. Now, I want to talk about these 2 apps that I saw recommended on I think Wolf Den did it on YouTube.
Yeah, it was
first.
Bob Wolf did it.
Yeah.
Good video.
Good video. And so these 2 apps, Game Native and Game Hub. So one of them is open source. Game Native is open source, and Game Hub is made by GameSir, the controller company, and it's proprietary. And there was some controversy a few months ago about the fact that some people think that GameSir stole some source code from other open source projects and repackaged.
Lifting drink.
Yeah, repackaged the code in Game Hub. I don't know about that. I haven't really followed the situation.
It says it's based on Game Fusion when you launch the app.
Yes, and some of the code, it sounds like some of the code was lifted from other places. It's not clear. And also people don't like the fact that it's not open source and it's proprietary and it requires creating an account with GameSir. And so a lot of people are saying like, oh, but it's shady. But at the same time, like it's GameSir. Like it's one of the most popular hardware manufacturers for accessories in the gaming industry. So I don't know. I don't think they're a shady company necessarily. In any case,
I don't think they'd stake their reputation on this app.
No,
realistically.
no, I don't think they would. In any case, these are two Android apps that you can install. You can just download the APK file and install it on your Android device. And they let you emulate Steam to play PC games on Android. Now, I wanted to mention this because GameSir, just after a few days after Silksong came out, released a major update to GameHub version 5, which added support for Steam cloud saves and better compatibility with Silksong.
Hello.
But hold on, because because I spent some time with this, Brendon. I actually started a separate playthrough of Silksong.
Yeah.
And it's slightly more complicated than that. So I tried both Game Native and GameHub. I really did not like Game Native, despite more people potentially on Reddit and other places being more into the open source nature of Game Native and the fiddly nature of Game Native. Like the thing about Game Native is that sure, it's open source. You can inspect the code. I have no idea what to do with the code personally. Like I mean,
but you inspected it, so you know.
No,
it's good.
I really haven't. I have no idea what. I mean, more power to you if you know what to check. Silksong, when I tried it, so both of these apps, they let you log into your Steam account with a QR code. So you need to, you use your iPhone app and you scan the QR code, and so you're giving authorization to these apps to tap into your Steam game library, and it's kind of like setting up a Steam Deck, really. And I did it on my Android Lenovo gaming tablet, so that's what I used. You log into your Steam account, you log into your Steam library, and you can download as many games as you want. Now, I saw more people saying this is fine as a thing you want to test to do with games like indie games, 2D platformers, like you probably don't want to try and run Elden Ring or Cyberpunk through Game Native or GameHub because
I tried Control, which I'll get to in a minute.
Okay.
Oh, sick.
Okay.
I can't wait to hear about that.
Perfect.
John is recording from the only room in his house that wasn't burned down in the Great Fire of running Control on his Odin 2.
Right.
Incredible. So what's happening here is that both of these apps are kind of doing something similar to Windlater, for example, which is they are using something that is like the concept behind the Proton compatibility layer is kind of like that. They're sort of layering a translation engine between Steam and Android using the what's it called VK3D APIs or something like that. So they're using you gotta have the latest Turnip drivers. We are familiar with those drivers with other emulators, and they're basically shipping their own take on Proton, but this time it's designed for Android. And I'm oversimplifying here because I don't really want to get into
I think that they do download some of the Proton files because
they actually do. They download a bunch of assets from Valve's servers, including some of the Wine and Proton compatibility files.
You can see all of it happening.
You can see in GameHub, at least, you can see all of that happen. So I really didn't like Game Native. It was too fiddly, kind of unintuitive to use, and Silksong never started for me. Like I couldn't boot Silksong. I downloaded Silksong via Game Native, but it wouldn't launch. And I tried. You can fiddle with a lot of settings. Like
what device were you playing this on?
My Lenovo Legion Tab.
Lenovo Legion Tab. Okay,
Then I tried Game Native because of version 5.
You mean Game
GameHub with version 5, which came out a couple of days ago. This is what I would recommend now if you're looking to get into this stuff. It's very simple, very intuitive, nicely designed. Just log in, you got a nice UI, you can choose between a bunch of different sources. GameHub, it lets you either log into your Steam library or use cloud gaming services, like all in the same package.
Cool.
But I just wanted to try Silksong. Logged in, went into my Steam library, downloaded Silksong, you get a nice progress bar. Then I launched it. The first time you launch it, it downloads additional resources one time only for the emulation. Within 2 minutes, I was playing Silksong with my Razer Kishi and my Lenovo Legion Tab, and it totally worked out of the box. Even better, it ran at 60 frames, a full resolution on my tablet. So that was like 1440p, I believe I ran, with HDR enabled. And if you want to, in Game Hub, you can even enable like a super resolution mode, which is basically like one of those machine learning based upscaling techniques. I didn't like the aggressive sharpening of that mode, so I just prefer to run it at native resolution, 60
that would look
frames.
weird with that game, I think.
Yeah, and HDR. And it looked beautiful, like absolutely stunning. And in a way, that is that Lenovo Legion Tab, if I just consider the handhelds that I have now, is the best display for Hollow Knight if I just consider the handhelds. Because it's brighter, bigger, just more colorful and vibrant display. I actually think it looks better than the Steam Deck OLED. It's a higher resolution, and I really like how Lenovo calibrated this IPS display, even though it's not OLED. The colors absolutely pop, especially when you enable HDR in Game Hub. Now, the thing about version 5 of Game Hub is that in theory, it should support your Steam Cloud saves.
Yeah.
In practice, it really doesn't. And this is a common complaint on Reddit right now. What they have done, it seems, that you can pull your cloud saves from your Steam account. And you can continue playing on your Game Hub enabled Android device, whether it's a tablet, a phone, an Android handheld, whatever. At the moment, there's a bug, it seems, in that those cloud saves from Game Hub are not syncing back to the Steam cloud. And there are many, many reports on Reddit of people losing their cloud saves or getting corrupted cloud saves because of this incomplete integration right now, where some people fiddle around with the settings and they actually managed to get Game Hub to save back to their Steam account, but it overwrote their previous saves from another PC, and so they lost a bunch of their progress. So I wouldn't recommend right now enabling the Steam Cloud integration. I would recommend checking out Game Hub to start a new playthrough of something, whatever, start a new save file of something that you never played elsewhere before to get a sense of what it feels like for some games. But be extremely wary of the Steam Cloud integration, which you can disable on a per game basis. You can go into the game settings and disable the Steam Cloud option. And I was very impressed. Like, aside from this Steam Cloud issues, I was very impressed with Silksong running on Game Hub on my Legion tab.
All right. Yeah. Well, I tried 2 games. I started, as I said, with Control using the Odin portal. And that's a big chunky game. Not a new game by any stretch, but one that kind of taxes most systems. And it took quite a while to download. And it did, as Federico described, when you first launched the game, it downloaded a bunch of assets. It got all the way, the progress bar got all the way to the end, said launching app, and then it would quit back to the UI of the store, the storefront, the catalog front. I tried Control mainly because when I didn't have, I just did this morning before we recorded, and when I downloaded it, I saw the first 2 games I saw in the UI of the app were Silksong and Control. And Control, to their credit, did say something to the effect of, kind of sort of works. It didn't really say like fully compatible, but I thought, might as well give it a shot. Didn't work. Tried it 2 or 3 times. Never got it launched. Then I tried Hades, and Hades is a demo that I had, and it worked totally fine. It ran 45 to 60 frames per second on the portal. So it slowed down a little bit here and there, but, not too bad. And that was all I did. I mean, I literally only was able to play for like 15 minutes before we got on the call, but
I feel like
it's impressive.
Yeah, hearing about this, I haven't messed with this at all. I haven't touched my Odin since Silksong came out. But when I saw this video, I was like, I'm excited to try that when I'm done with Silksong. I don't want to sound too hyperbolic, but I feel like when this gets to the point where Steam Cloud saves are working better, compatibility is better across the board, it feels to me like a complete upheaval of what I would start recommending people buy for
potentially.
The fact, like, okay, cool, you could download Hades off the Play Store, for example, on an Android device, but if you have a PC or a Steam Deck already, or something else that has a Steam cloud save on it. Like, why wouldn't you want to continue your cloud save, hypothetically? Bringing that functionality to Android is like a night and day difference. And also, I do think paves a greater path forward for what Android devices can be capable of, and it makes things like the Snapdragon 8 Elite and the Odin 3 start to make more sense. If you start to consider like even that's what they're targeting, because there was, a couple of years ago, before we even did the show, there were a couple of companies like Iron making things like the Loki, which were like technically Steam Deck competitors, right? Like they were making things that were like, okay, this thing runs Windows. It's definitely not as powerful as a Steam Deck. It's just about as expensive, but it's much smaller. It's lighter. It's more or not more ergonomic, but it looks a little bit sleeker. And you could run a thing like Hades on it if you're into indie games and 2D, platforming games and things like that. Like you could run it on the Loki. But now we're at a point where if Android compatibility in terms of playing Windows games gets better and better and better, all they need to do is just have like the latest Snapdragon chip in the latest handheld that they release with Android. And like, I wouldn't be surprised if they like pre-install something, like what do they call Game Native, and what was the other one?
Game Hub,
like whatever the open source one is. Like I could see them throwing
that's Game Native,
throwing that on the Odin 3 when you buy it. I think this is huge. This is going to be a really big deal.
I think so.
Yeah, it's definitely got rough edges right now. I mean, I just ran into a couple of rough edges right out of the box, but the UI of, especially with Game Hub made by GameSir, the UI is very reminiscent of anything that you've seen like from just Steam Deck itself, from Valve itself, or the like the Backbone one.
I was gonna say it looks a lot like the Backbone.
It does.
It has a lot of. And even Razer does that with their Kishi app that goes with their controllers, has something very similar to Backbone. It has all that kind of vibe, and it has the tiles where it's like, go to this one to log into Steam, go to this one to access this other thing. Yeah, it has a lot of potential, I think.
I think in like a year or 2 years max, this is going to be like the no-brainer thing you start to use your Android handhelds for. And I was thinking a lot, Federico, about what you said about the best screen to play Silksong on. Because right now I don't have a screen that has an OLED panel on it to play Silksong on, and I've been like dying to get one. And I've been thinking a lot about when the Thor comes, like that'll probably end up being my Silksong device going forward when I start a second playthrough.
I think we have identified the thing, like just like last year, we knew
the 2026 theme.
Exactly, because I was gonna say last year we sort of knew that two-screen emulation was gonna be a thing in 2025, and I think we have now landed on something potentially even bigger, which is the reason to keep pushing the high end, the highest possible end of Android emulation, because we knew we were gonna reach a ceiling, right, with emulators, because like at that point you can keep pushing the performance, but if emulators are stopping at PS3, if we're lucky.
Yeah,
what else are we gonna do? What else are we gonna do? Right? Do you want to run a GameCube game at 20x resolution? Like, there's no sense in doing that. And now I think we have identified the reason why there is a space for the highest possible end devices. Like, you're just gonna start emulating Windows, and at that point, we got our content cut out for us for the next few years, I think.
Nice.
I think realistically, I think I'll probably end up playing Hollow Knight, like the original Hollow Knight, on the Odin 2 first, and see what that's like. Because from what I understand, I think there's an Android APK for that game floating around. That's like a little bit of like a bring your own files thing. That you have to compile it yourself. But I've never tried that, and maybe that would be an interesting test to see how that works compared to playing it through one of these two apps. That'll be a fun thing to try out.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be going through my Steam library and trying out a few new games.
I'm thinking like I'm just thinking of some upcoming indie games I'm really excited about also.
Exactly.
Like Demon School comes out soon, and Demon School is going to be such a great game for this, because it's like, I mean, it's Persona, it's essentially like an indie version of Persona 1 and 2. So it's like, not too graphically intensive.
Right.
And it's, turn-based combat and mostly dialogue and just kind of like wandering around an isometric 2D world. That seems like the perfect game to be playing.
Yeah, it does.
Something like the Odin. Yeah. Man, that's exciting.
Well, we're going to be talking about a bunch more about the Odin 3 and what I did in NPC XL for Patreon subscribers.
Great.
If you want to join, that's just $5 a month, and we will really appreciate if you considered joining us for NPC XL, which is basically more NPC every single week. And I have thoughts and things to share in this week's episode about...
Boy, does he.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I think that about does it for this week's episode, boys.
I think it does. Hey, go check out all of Brendon's work over at wavelengths.online. He's doing, as always, lots of good stuff. He's been kind of obsessed with Silksong lately, if you haven't noticed.
He's busy.
He's a busy boy.
I've been live streaming Silksong for actually just under a week as of today.
Nice.
Wow.
Basically like my full-time job, 9 to 5.
yeah. Last time we recorded, you were just downloading it so you could get started. So.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Remember?
That was literally last week. Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy. And of course, find me and Federico over at macstories.net. By the time this comes out, he and I, hopefully, fingers crossed, will have published our iPadOS 26 review. That's Federico's. And macOS Tahoe 26, which is mine. So you can head over there and read those about all the new changes and features to both operating systems. And with that, let's just roll into NPC XL. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye everyone.